Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Komard here with Komards NFTs, bringing you another episode of KomardsKlass. Today, we are going to be talking about time management. All right, guys, this is probably one of the most crucial things that we could be talking about. A lot of us, it seems, are having struggles when it comes to time management, and we feel like we're overwhelmed and we're constantly grinding in one space or another space or even background work. So let's not get overwhelmed here. Let me help you out with this. And that said, we are going to get rolling here momentarily, but I do want to take a quick minute to shout out our sponsors. And we're going to start out with Smush Friends. Many friends, one heart. Guys, you can find them over at smushfriends.com, and that is spelled with a V, not a U. Check them out. Great project. Also, we have a proud sponsor of Astro Zero. That's right. Community driven and designed to empower NFT artists. Guys, you can find Astro Elon and Astro Zero over at astroelon.net. Make sure you go check them out. They are an up and coming platform that is just going to smoke the industry. Not a financial advice, but wanted to let you know, check it out for yourselves. Do your own homework. All right, guys, here we go. Time management. So real quick, I just want to let you guys know that the whole reason I put this together for you guys is I do see a number of you as creators struggling with your time management. Some of us have real jobs, some of us have, and when I say real jobs, don't take it personally, guys, meaning jobs not within Web3 or the NFT space. Let me be clear about that. But some of us have those jobs. Some of us have families, small children in the home, sick children, things like that. So it does take time. And guys, family always needs to come first. I just want to be clear about that. Always put your family first. But the idea here is to give you some skills and some ways that you can better manage that time so you don't feel so overwhelmed, so that you don't feel like you're drowning in stuff to do. So, what is time management? Guys, time management boils down to utilizing the time that you have in a day to be the most productive that you can be. It's a process of planning, controlling what time you spend on various activities. By having good time management skills and managing your time properly, you will find that it's going to be a whole lot easier and faster and more efficient, thus lowering your stress and, most importantly, leading to career success. A lot of us are looking at this space as a new career for us. So keep that in mind. Time management involves both managing your own time and that of others, as in on your team and in your communities. Saving time saves the organization money and increases revenue. Who doesn't want to increase revenue in this space? Like, seriously? Let's go. All right. Having a good time management skill involves being able to analyze your workload, assign work properties, and maintaining focus on productive endeavors, tasks, and obligations. You ever ask yourself how it is that Charlie Brown was able to get so much done? Or how John Doe has time to get everything done the way they do? Like, why do you find yourself running around like a madman or a mad woman, or politically correct here, a mad person, trying to accomplish what it is that you need to get done? In the NFT space, it's not likely that those individuals have less to do, but more likely that they've acquired these time management skills that I'm going to go over with you guys. Thus, it helps them manage their time more effectively. Now, the importance to the management process of time management practices is that it's important to develop these skills because few, if any of us, actually have enough time in a day to get everything that we believe. I want you to remember that everything that we believe we need to get done in that day. People who have these time management skills down have the ability to accomplish most any task they have in an efficient and productive manner. What skills are they using specifically? For myself, one of the biggest tools that I use is our Google Calendar, and I make it publicly available to you guys. Why? Because I want you to see how I'm trying to lead the way with showing you guys better ways to be successful. You can find that on our Tele page. That's also how, if you guys are looking to book some one-on-one time with us, you look at the calendar, you see what's available. But it's a free tool. And I don't know a whole lot of you guys that are actually even using it. I know a few of you, but it's a free tool. It does help you schedule things out, you guys. And there's so much more with Google Calendar that you can do. It's nuts. So, how do we begin implementing these strategies and practice to make us more productive? And where do we start? For me, I'm of the opinion that scheduling is hands down one of the best, if not the best, place to start in regards to managing your time. Scheduling is important because some tasks have to be done by a specific date or time. Scheduling can affect your day, your week, your month, and in addition, it can also affect other people's workflow and what it is that they have going on in their projects. So if you're collaborating with somebody and you miss a deadline, guess what? It's not just your deadline you screwed up, it's theirs too. All right? So, yeah, schedules are everything, and I'm pretty good at adhering to them 90% of the time. Obviously, when it comes to my daughter and her health, which some of you know is not very well right now, um, the schedule gets screwed up, and my OCD takes over, and yeah, it's an ugly mess. But guys, it's super important. It's also a really good way to avoid procrastinating. It's also a really good way to make sure that you're being punctual. Right? Those are two skills that you definitely want to make sure that you have is being punctual and being reliable, right? That adds to your reliability. So we at Komards NFTs use not only Google Calendars, but there's a CRM that we use as well. Guys, I'm not going to endorse one or another. There's a ton of them out there. If you're not familiar with it, CRMs and what it is that they do, um, most all of them are pretty good, but some are better than others, just like any platform, just like any tool that we use in our arsenal. Okay. So do your own research when it comes to CRMs. For those of you that are not familiar with what a CRM is, it's considered to be a customer relationship management. All right. There again, we've talked about it. Be intentional, deliberate, and purposeful with what you put on your calendar. Again, be deliberate, right? Know exactly what it is that you need to do. In other words, guys, don't half-ass it and just say meeting with Komard, right? Okay, well, what the hell is the meeting about? Let's talk about it. You know, give yourself an idea. Give yourself a kind of an outline of what it is that you're wanting to talk to Komard about, or give yourself an idea of what it is you're wanting to talk to VDK about. All right. If you want to get with VDK, you need to be clear with her about what it is you're wanting to talk about. Okay, so why not be clear with yourselves? We talked about punctuality. Guys, these calendars and CRMs can help you be on time. You can literally, with some of these, schedule calls months and months and months in advance. You know, you can go months without talking to somebody. Well, guess what? You'll forget that, oh, yeah, I'm supposed to call them back in December to check on something. Well, guess what? These CRMs give you that ability. It pops up a reminder and says, hey, don't forget to call VDK. Right? So, I mean, just, yeah. All right. Now, the other great thing about the calendar specifically that I like to use it for is I have set goals on it with deadlines. You know, I've got some short term goals on there, I've got some long term goals on there, and I've set the deadlines for them. And it also allowed me to set those goals up in a way that I can put specific tasks that I need to do to achieve those goals on the calendar before those goals deadlines, right? Keeping me on track, making it more manageable. And I can track those tasks and those milestones. And again, aids me on my path to completing those goals. Now, by utilizing such tools as scheduling tools and CRMs, the above listed chores or goals and things that you're looking to use makes it easy for you to stay focused. Guys, if you're anything like me, I'm kind of ADHD, and once in a while I get like pigeonholed, tunnel visioned, whatever, tinfoil path, you know, I'm all over the place. And a lot of it is because I love you guys. So I want to show you guys as much support as I can. And if I see a tweet come across and I'm like, oh, right, there's BDK. She's got a tweet. Oh, I like that tweet. I'm going to retweet that out. All right. And then the next thing I know, I completely forgot what the hell I was even working on in the first place. So, you know, having these things will help you keep from getting sucked down the tinfoil tunnel. All right. So now some of the benefits, guys, of good time management skills is the ability to manage time and to be efficient as effectively as possible, which is important. Good time management leads to improved efficiency, productivity, less stress, more success in your life. Now, here are some of the benefits to effectively managing your time. Stress relief. Making and following a schedule and a task list greatly reduces anxiety. It has been statistically proven to reduce anxiety. Guys, let's be real here. We're in a bear market, sort of. But we're in a down market. I'll give you that. We are in a down market. So a lot of us are anxious, and some of us are getting into the panic mode. Some of us are getting into the fear mode. Guys, we don't need added stress by not being efficient and managing our time properly. All right. So as you check off items on your to-do list, you're going to be able to see that you're making tangible progress, which leads to giving you a feeling of being successful and accomplishing what it is that you're trying to do. Thus, it aids in avoiding you feeling stressed out and worried about whether or not you're going to get these things done. It gives you more time. Here's how. Good time management skills give you that extra time to spend in other places or on other tasks in your daily lives. People that are capable of managing their time effectively enjoy having more time to spend on hobbies and other personal pursuits. Now, here's why and how it gives you more time. You can literally set things up in 15-minute increments on Google Calendar, as an example, or less if you choose to. That you can say, okay, first thing in the morning, I'm going to get up and I'm going to post my morning motivation tweet. Most of you are familiar with that tweet, all right? But I only allow myself 15 minutes to come up with that morning tweet and that morning motivation that I post to not just Twitter, not just Instagram, but across all of our social media platforms, as well as nearly 200 Discords every day. Again, 200 Discords every day. And I'm done with it in 15 minutes or less most days. Okay? So by making sure that I meet that time frame, I just gave myself more time to do something else. Does that make sense? All right. Now, here's the other thing it's going to do for you. It's going to give you more opportunities. Well, how's that? Managing your time well leads to more opportunities and less time wasted on trivial activities, which means, guess what? Opportunities are knocking in other spaces. Opportunities are knocking on other blockchains. Opportunities are knocking in various cryptos. So why would you not want to take advantage of having those extra opportunities to invest in projects, to invest in crypto, to invest in whatever you believe in, because you now have more time to investigate those and do your research? Makes sense, right? So good time management skills are key qualities that employers and consumers look for. The ability to prioritize and schedule your work is extremely desirable for any organization. The ability to realize your goals. Those individuals with the ability to practice good time management skills are able to better achieve goals and objectives, and generally speaking, tend to do so in a shorter length of time. Now, how do they do that? Because they've literally managed every aspect of what it is that they've got to do throughout the day. A couple days ago, maybe it was even yesterday, I posted a tweet on, I made a post that talked about SMART goals. Guys, if you missed that post, go back through the timeline. It's going to tell you how to break down your goals so that you can make them achievable. It's important to have short-term goals as well as long-term goals, okay? And we're getting into that now where we talk about setting goals. Goal definitions by standard and by just general use. Short-term goals are considered to be a goal that can be achieved today, maybe even this week or this month. And hell, if you're really going to push it, you might be able to get it done this year. On the other hand, though, long-term goals are goals that require a little bit more attention to detail as well as planning, and they typically take more than a year, if not several, to get completed. Now, I want to point out here, you guys, that most Fortune 500 leaders or those that are in the upper management practice goal setting regularly, and they've learned how to set appropriate goals. But what does this mean? So, by setting appropriate goals, what I'm getting at, guys, is your goals have to be achievable and realistic, both for your short term and your long term. When you're setting goals, you'll want to make sure that they are achievable and measurable. There's a common method for setting goals known as the SMART method of goal setting. SMART is an acronym for making sure that you are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. This, and having these goals set up, will lead to you prioritizing tasks based on the importance and urgency of the goals that you have set for yourself. As an example, you can sort tasks like I do. I have a notebook and pen next to my desk, and most of you guys know I'm constantly taking notes. Whether it's my space, other people's spaces, whatever, I'm always taking notes. All right. And on that one notebook, it is specifically a task list. And each day I got a new page and I start it every single day. Okay. Sort your goals in a way that it says important but not urgent, or important but not but urgent, urgent but not important, not urgent or important. Okay. Now, each of these tasks I kind of defined here a little bit for you. Important and urgent, as an example, are tasks that you need to get done right away. So for me, when I come into the office in the morning, first thing, boom, it's the morning motivation, period. Because I want to fire you guys up and I want to kick your days off with a big kick in the ass of motivation and energy and just, let's go, baby. All right. So for me, that's always filed under important and urgent. Okay. You can set a person's day, honestly, like you can set the tone for their entire day by the first tweet that you put out. So think about that for just a moment. Important but not urgent. These tasks are tasks that you deem to be important towards achieving specific goals, or maybe specific projects, or whatever it happens to be. Okay. But it's not necessarily mandatory that you put it at the top of your list for the day. Okay. Thus, urgent. Now, urgent but not important. Now, let me explain this one to you. I'm going to have fun with this. So, urgent for me is, as an example, um, on top of all the other stuff I do for Komards NFTs throughout the day. Tomorrow, I have a doctor's appointment for my daughter because she is getting progressively worse. She's been running a fever for pretty much 5 days that ranges between about 99.4 to 101.6. I called the physician today. Okay. Now, while the task says urgent but not important, the reason it went under that section of my list is because family by default is automatically important. Okay. And so it just made sense for me to put it there because it's an urgent task that needs to be accomplished. All right. Some of you guys might have filed this similar thing under important and urgent, and that's okay as long as it works for you guys. And understand, you don't necessarily even have to use these specific categories. All right. You do what works for you. But point is, it's on my list. All right. Now, not urgent or important. These are tasks that can be completed as you gain extra time. And you will gain extra time as you're going through these things, you guys. Like, as an example, I know that I find myself often going to crypto mibs. Like, it's my taboo addiction, I guess. But so I go to crypto mibs probably 3-4 times a day on average and spend maybe 10-15 minutes each time getting into those. Okay. And it's just a way for me to kind of escape, unwind, whatever. But I love crypto mibs. I love the games. They're phenomenal. So if you need a break, go take a break at Crypto Miz. It is somewhat productive. You can earn a ton of additional NFTs from them just by playing their games, guys. So have fun with it. Now, because you have learned what it takes to set appropriate goals, you'll now be better capable of managing your workload. Guys, managing the workload can sometimes be overwhelming. Okay. Like there's times where I've got so much shit on my list of stuff to get done for the day that I'm like, oh my God, how am I ever going to get all this done? Seriously? But somehow I always manage to try and get it done, and it gets done. It's weird, but it. So what you want to do, more importantly, you guys have heard the story of the tortoise and the hare. All right, slow but steady wins the race, right? All right, so pace yourselves when you're going through your work. Even if it seems like an odd thing to call a skill, it is an important time management concept skill. If you sprint right out of the gate the whole freaking day, by the time the day is over, you are going to be exhausted. And not even just physically, but mentally just drained. All right. And chances are, most of us, we all work really, really hard. So we're all drained by the end of the day anyway. Let's not add to it. Let's kind of relieve that a little bit by pacing ourselves. All right. Now, do not skip breaks, period. Guys, do not skip breaks. It seems counterintuitive to take breaks periodically throughout the day because if you're taking a break, you're not being productive. If you're not being productive, you're not getting shit done. If you're not, well, how's me taking a break going to help me? Because it can re-energize you guys. All right, it can harness your cheese. It can fuel you. It can ignite you. There are times where I will grab up my kid, I'll put her in a stroller, and we will go for a walk around the block for 15 minutes. We come back, I hand her off to her mom, and boom, here I am. I'm in somebody else's space doing something, you know? So, and when I come back, I'm all fired up because I got to spend some good time with my kid. I got to be out in the sun. I got to feel the sun on my face. And I'm like, yeah, baby, let's go. Okay. So believe it or not, those little breaks, they really, really can inspire you and fuel you to keep you motivated and going for the day. There are rare emergencies, you guys, that it's important to resist the temptation to either overwork, take excessive breaks, or even picking a sensible quitting time, as well as not being afraid to delegate when and where you need in your schedule. Some of us have teams that we can delegate certain little menial tasks to. Some of us don't, and that's okay. But a team that you can delegate these tasks to, then you need to be able to know what you're actually capable of and don't put standards on yourself that you're not going to be able to reach. So, knowing and enforcing an optimum workload for yourself ensures consistency in your performance and it avoids burnout. Collectors and community members want to be able to count on you for the long term. Again, collectors and members want to be able to count on you for long term. Guys, when I first came into the space in January, most of you know 16, 18, 20 hours a day, every single day, space after space after space after space. Oh, and let's not forget tweet after tweet after tweet after tweet. Okay. It's ridiculous. And I did it for 6 months. And my wife came to me a few weeks ago and she says, hey, she says, I realize you're trying to build this business and I haven't really said too much, you know, and but you're putting a whole lot of time into this. You're missing things with the baby. When am I going to get this time back? Guys, it hit me like a fucking hacksaw Jim Duggan 2x4 across the face. And I was like, holy shit. She's right. And so we sat down, we had a conversation, and we worked out a new schedule for me to work so that I can work and still have time for my family. And it works beautifully now. You know, most times I'm here and available within Spaces, Discord, whatever, from 10 o'clock Central Standard Time in the morning until 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, Monday through Friday. On Saturdays, I am available from 10 a.m. Central Standard Time to 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Okay? That is the wife that, or that is the wife. That is my wife. But that is the schedule that my wife and I established together to make it more like a day job that some of us have. Okay. And it works for her. All right. Now, she was super supportive of me just diving in head first and grinding and grinding and grinding. And she did what she needed to do. She helped us get our foot in the door. She helped us to be able to show you guys who we are. Okay. So if your family comes to you and asks you for things like that, don't hesitate to accommodate your families. Seriously. All right. So part of this involves process management, knowing how to be assertive and when to be assertive. Forget eliminating waste. Do not waste stuff. Guys, time is easy to be wasted within the Web3 space because we're checking out this website, this project, that project. It's not hard to do. All right. But where it does get hard is being able to make sure that you're not wasting time on projects, on anything that you're not genuinely going to be involved in. Okay. If you're not genuinely going to be involved in something, in my mind, it's a waste of time. All right. Don't even bother. So take breaks. Again, it allows you to refresh and recharge. Delegate. If you have team members that you guys can delegate to, you absolutely should. Okay. Because you're not alone. There's a reason you have a team. Together, everyone achieves more. And I know 90% of you in this space right now have heard that acronym used in that manner. All right. Do not be afraid to do that and utilize your team. If you have dedicated, I hate this word, community members or family members within your project, all right, that you can trust, that have been with you for an extended period of time, that you've known for an extended period of time, and you've gotten to know well, all right, and you have faith in their abilities to do so, do not be afraid to go back to them and ask them if they would like to be a part of your team, whether it's moderating your Discord, whether it's posting out a couple of extra tweets, whether it's whatever, it doesn't matter, all right? Do not be afraid to ask your team for that help. Do not be afraid to ask your family and or NFT community for that help. 9 out of 10 times they're going to say yes. Why? Because they believe in the project as much as you do, or they wouldn't be there. So why would they not want to help it succeed? Set the limits, set time limits. And so this section is set time limits. All right. But it's not just time limits that you need to set. And we're going to get into a few others as we go through this. But setting time limits inadvertently sets goals, and doing so will create a sense of urgency, thus inspiring you to complete tasks as quickly and efficiently as you can. Now, I want to point something out here, guys. Just because you complete something fast does not mean you did it well, meaning it doesn't necessarily mean the quality was there. So, what I want to point out here is do not ever sacrifice the quality of what it is you are doing just to get it done quickly. My old man raised us boys. If you're going to do something, you might as well do it right the first time, because otherwise you're going to go back and do it again anyway. So, guys, do not sacrifice the quality. With the creation of these time constraints, you'll gain the ability to determine if there will be any potential issues and or problems before they become a problem. Thus, it allows you to make adjustments as needed to handle those potential issues. And honestly, you'll be able to kind of create a backup plan or a plan B if something doesn't go the way you want it to. Okay. So make sure that you're tracking on that. As an example, let's say that you need to write 5 item descriptions for some new NFTs that you're planning to list out before a meeting or an appointment of whatever type. Okay. But you realize you're only going to have time to get 3 of those done before your appointment. Well, if you know this far enough in advance, you guys, you can actually set it up to do after your call or after your meeting. So that way there is no interruptions from your appointment, no delays. You're not going to be late. You're not procrastinating, whatever the case happens to be. And sometimes you can just flip stuff that you have on your list to do from one time zone to another. So that way it coincides and it works well for whatever it is you have going on. Earlier, I mentioned taking breaks. You guys, we all need breaks. I take walks, I play crypto mibs, I watch YouTube videos, I read blogs, which I find relaxing. I found a blog today that I'm actually going to, I actually found a blog post today that I really, really liked, but I think I can make it better. So I'm going to work on turning that into my own and making it better and making it a future class. So for me, that was relaxing. But anyway, take these breaks, you guys. Don't be afraid to go for a quick 10-minute walk or go play a game on your phone or on CryptoMid's website, which, by the way, I have linked here. If you're into meditation, that could be a great thing for you as well for mental balance. You know, I do a little bit of it, but probably not as well as some of you guys. But I don't know. I talk to my gods, so I talk to them pretty often, actually. Get organized. Use your calendar, your CRMs, set reminders, add notes, goals, deadlines. When you're using your calendar, be sure to put some thought into which days will work best for which tasks you are about to add. If you are a regular in, say, as an example, Coin Laundry's Wednesday night space, it starts at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. Great space to get into, you guys. It's the hump day space. Does a phenomenal job running it. Just whatever. But let's say that you're a regular in his space, but somebody else says, "Oh man, I'd really like you to come over and co-host this space with me, and we run it every day. How does Wednesday work for you?" Well, think about that for a minute. Do you really want to miss a space that you're a regular attendee of for another space where you're just pretty much going to be a guest speaker, a spotlight speaker, maybe, things like that? Try to work that out to where it doesn't interfere with stuff that you have regularly scheduled. All right. So think about it before you put stuff on your calendars. Remove the non essential. Guys, you have no idea how many times I see people that have a list of things to do that I'm like, well, wait a minute. That doesn't add to the value of your project. That doesn't add to the value of your NFT. That doesn't add to the value of your community. How is that an essential task? Guys, seriously, figure out if the stuff that you're trying to accomplish is essential or not. And you'll find that some of us, we put a lot of shit on our task list, on our calendars, on our days that really just doesn't need to be there. Okay? So just keep that in mind. Plan ahead. Whenever it's possible, you guys plan as far ahead as you possibly can. We are releasing our first newsletter on on June 1st, July 1st. Oh my God, I'll get it right at one of these days. But on July 1st, we are releasing our first newsletter. Now, our newsletter doesn't even really have a name. Okay, it's Komards NFT's monthly newsletter. Blah, 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 blah. All right. Now, one of the reasons that I did that is because come August, you guys that are subscribed to that newsletter are going to have the opportunity to suggest names for that newsletter, which will come out in September. We will have picked a name, and it'll be announced in the September edition of the newsletter, as well as the newsletter itself will have the name changed that month on your behalf. The winner or person that myself and Jester choose as the winner for the name that was submitted will also get a spotlight in that newsletter. Guys, that's 3 months in advance, but I already know exactly how it's going to work. I've got a Google Doc all set up for you guys to send in your name suggestions. It's all done. It's ready to go. It's literally at this point waiting on a time. So as soon as July 1 hits, boom, that newsletter goes out and we're rolling. I've already started the newsletter for August. All right. It's not done, obviously, because there's more stuff to come. But, work on things ahead. Get ahead as far as you can. All right. create positive reinforcing habits. Now, habits, by definitions, are tasks and practices that have become naturally organic. Some of you guys might refer to these as muscle memory. Okay. The best way to create these positive habits, though, is to do them religiously until you find that you're doing these kinds of activities is natural. In most cases, you can consistently do something for a period of 21 days, at which point it becomes a habit and you'll find yourself naturally doing these things. And if you don't find yourself, like if you miss one after 21 days, you're like, oh my God, I forgot something. What did I forget? And it'll drive you nuts until you get it figured out. And then when you get it figured out, you'll be like, man, that is so awesome. All right. Now, some indicators of poor time management include poor workflow. And what that means is that it's the inability to plan ahead, to stick to your goals, poor efficiency. As an example, there are several important tasks to complete. An effective plan would be to complete related tasks together and sequentially. However, if you don't plan ahead, you could end up having to jump back and forth or backtrack in doing any of the things that you're trying to accomplish, which reduces efficiency and obviously lower productivity. Wasted time. Guys, do I really need to go into this for you guys? If you're distracting yourself with, I don't know, a website, a cool looking NFT project that you're going and you're looking at that, you could take or leave, but it's cool. You want to know more about it. It's kind of a time waste. Okay. Doesn't mean that it is until you obviously do your research, but allow yourself, as an example, I give myself 1 hour every single day of straight research time. That's it. And that research time, I can divide it out however I want, whether it's NFTs, whether it's projects, whether it's cryptocurrencies, if it's blogs and possible material that I can do better to help you guys be successful in these classes. Whatever it is, I can divide it out however I want, but I allow myself 1 hour every single day. So because I do that, I find myself not wasting time. Loss of control. By not knowing what is next, you suffer from loss of control in your life that can contribute to higher levels of stress and anxiety. Guys, again, we're in kind of a crunch time here with the markets. We don't need to add to it. Sorry about that. I had to grab a drink and stuff. All right. So, poor quality of work. Poor time management typically makes the quality of your work suffer. As NFT collectors, we can tell when a piece of art feels rushed or last minute. I know I, for one, typically can. An example of having to rush to complete tasks at the last minute usually compromises quality. Guys, again, you heard me say earlier, do not compromise quality for the speed in which you're trying to accomplish your tasks. There are some projects that we've seen that have come into the space and they're talking about releasing on March 1. Well, because they didn't want to compromise the quality of their project, they pushed it back. That's not a bad thing. You know, again, that's also why I don't believe in roadmaps that are based on timelines. Just don't do it. But that's a whole nother ballgame. Now, some additional noteworthy skills here to think about adapting and building into your time management repertoire is going to include adapting plans to change and circumstance, which we just briefly touched on. Be ready for anything and willing to adjust accordingly. Attack your more complex tasks when you have the highest energy and the highest concentration. What this does, guys, is when we were in school, most of us used to get stuck in math class early in the morning because generally speaking, that's when you're thinking the best, you're the most awake, all of these different things. Okay. So keep that in mind. Automate tasks whenever possible. With the ever changing and growing technologies that are out here right now, you guys, there are so many tasks that can literally be automated, including the tweets that you post out. How much time do you think it would save you if you spent one entire day a week just building your tweets for the week? Build them out, boom, put them into the thing, and let it go. I bet you guys would find yourselves with quite a bit more time because chances are, once you get into the flow of building your tweets out, you're not going to be spending all day building your tweets. Thus, it gives you more time, which means you're going to get to see more people's stuff. It's a good thing, right? Batching. That kind of goes back to the scheduling the tweets. What about phone calls and meetings? Okay, is there a reason that we can't get our meetings as groups or the phone calls as a conference call? I mean, if it's relevant, absolutely get them all together. Do it all in one go. It's kind of like holding a space here. You know, there's a bunch of you guys watching on the various channels that we're streaming on right now. There's a bunch of you guys in the Twitter space, which is phenomenal, and I love all of you. All right, and I truly appreciate every single person supporting this and what it is that we're trying to do here. But we batched it. We're batching it so that we can cross numerous platforms all at once, thus reducing my time. I'm not having to repost content. Create daily, weekly, and monthly to-do lists, you guys. And these to-do lists will give you trackable information to know whether or not you're getting them accomplished, what you need to do to get them accomplished, and where you're at in your list. Creating your schedules. One of the biggest things that most of us probably don't realize is that as a human species, we love patterns. We love routines. We like things set in stone. Everything has its place. Guys, schedules. Consequently, routines are a very important part of time management. Your time management system should consist of a set of routines. We've talked about delegating. I'm not going into that. Eliminating time wasters. We've talked about that. Prioritizing your list of projects and focusing higher value on tasks with more immediate deadlines. Create a table of sorts divided into 5 categories. Do first, do next, do later, don't do, maybe. That's what I use. This table is going to help you prioritize those things, okay? Reviewing performance and eliminating deviations from your priorities. This is probably one of the most tedious tasks there are, but in my opinion, you guys, it's probably one of the biggest keys to any business and or project's success. There are a number of tools that make it possible to see what people are receiving and engaging with and what they are not. Setting realistic standards for quality and avoiding perfectionism. Now, I by nature am a perfectionist. If I don't like it, it's not going. But I have gotten better with it because I have set my time limits and I use my calendar and my to-do lists and all of these different things. So if you're like me, it's going to be a little bit of a hard one for you to not be in the habit of doing. But some of us are considered leaders among our peers, and we need to lead others by example. And that's one of the things that drives me to do the things that I do, is I want to lead you guys by example. I can't direct you guys how to be more successful if I myself am not showing you what I'm doing to achieve the successes that Komards NFTs has achieved. And I will never tell you guys to do something that I have not done myself or do not do myself. We talked about taking short breaks. Here's one that most of you probably don't even realize the effect that this can have. Touch every piece of paper or reading each email just once, whenever feasible. It puts it into your head. It puts it into your subconscious. It reminds you later down the road when the time is appropriate. And you'll be like, oh yeah, I got an email from EDeal. And EDeal says that I need to get with him this next week to work on a possible collaboration. I got to read that again, make sure I get all my ducks in order for that. Okay? Those kinds of things. I struggle with this one too. Learning when to say no. It's tough for me, you guys, because I want to help all of you out in the best possible way I can. And so oftentimes you guys come to me and ask me various things and to do certain things that I can't do. Okay. And I mean I could do it, but if I do, it takes away from this. If I don't do it, then But you're not a superhero is the point, you guys. Don't try to act like one and take on everything that comes your way. Do what you can do, make it the best you can make it, and go with it. You're not Clark Kent, don't pretend to be. And you're not the Green Arrow either. So when you are able to hone these skills, they will lead you to the following benefits and many more. To being proactive, to batching, creating your weekly, monthly to-do lists, multitasking, your thoroughness, your organization, your email management, and a lot more, enabling you to overall be more efficient and more effective. And this is how you can achieve some of the successes that even people like Tim Cook or Mark Zuckerberg have seen. You think for a minute these guys don't live and die by schedules? You think for a minute these guys don't live and die by task lists or to-do lists? I promise you, they pretty much do. And I can tell you firsthand, Tim Cook does, hands down. He has an entire team that helps him manage his to-do lists. Okay, so that being said, now I did go through and I gave a pretty extensive list of other time management skills, and it does include some of the following. I'm probably not going to read through them all because I mean it's extensive. Um, but here we go: auditing, openness, communication. Guys, communication is probably one of the biggest skills that we utilize every single day in our tweets, in our posts on other social media, and in our communications in Twitter spaces and live streams like this one. You're going to find that your tolerance for stress is going to go up. Your dependability will go up. Your reasoning, both deductive and inductive, will improve. You're going to be able to assess risk management way easier. You're going to learn about project management and conflict management. And you're going to be efficient. You're going to learn how to be diligent. Guys, all of these skills, I have people DM me even now. Oh my God, how did you get so many followers? Oh my God, did you buy followers? No, I will never buy followers because they don't add any value to the project. Numbers are just bullshit. They will never add value to the project. So how did I get the numbers that I've gotten? It's by being diligent. It's by brainstorming. It's by learning how to properly handle not only project management, but conflict management. Yesterday, in our Discord, as an example, there was a conflict. Now, I've had some people in my Discord say, yeah, I would have kicked and banned them straight out of the gate. To hell with that, blah, 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 blah. I wouldn't have even left their messages up. Nothing. Now, most of you know I am a completely transparent man and project, and I hide nothing from no one. I'm also not just going to straight rush out the gate to block or ban somebody from my server because I get it. We all have shit days. It happens. And when we have a shit day, sometimes we inadvertently take that out on the people around us. I handled it in what I believe to be the most professional and most respectable way possible. It's up to you what you guys do with it. But all of these things will lead you to the successes that you see that Komards has. Understand that success for me is different than what it is for you. Every one of you have a different idea of what success is. For some of you, success could be minting out your entire collection. For some of you, it could be making $1 million. For some of you, it could be having 100,000 followers. For me, it's different than all of those things because it's none of those things. If you're well enough, you know what my goals are. You know what my levels of success are. That said, ladies and gentlemen, I will be doing the live Q&A on this class in the Twitter space. I do appreciate you all for tuning in. And remember, if you missed the class today, you can catch it on Friday in the podcast as well as a YouTube video. And on our Twitch station, it'll be there as well. Thank you so much for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. And one more final shout out to our proud sponsor of Astro Zero, taking us to the moon, you guys. Make sure that you show them some love. Check out their project. Guys, I bought 5 billion Elon tokens that fuel the Astro Zero platform a week ago, 2 weeks ago, something like that, because I believe in this project. I'm not giving you financial advice, but what I am telling you to do is take a good, long, hard look at exactly what Astro Zero is doing. Because I promise you, it's juicy. Thank you so much. I love you. Have a great day.